This is the Eclectic Discussion Podcast.
Yeah. If it weren't for Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry would be my number one cartoon ever, all time, period. And do remember, I did a Looney Tunes podcast, so listen to it after you're done with this one. Anyway, and if you heard it before, listen to it again. It's still funny. It's me. I mean, you can't get too much better than me on a podcast. Anyway, Tom and Jerry was dope and violent and arguably racist, but so much fun. You had Tom back when his name was Jasper and was owned by Mammy Two Shoes. Her name was Mammy Two Shoes. For the record, we didn't know what her name was back then, but it makes sense because that's all we saw of her, except for that one time they showed her face. She was running down the street. They showed her face. wasn't a pretty sight. But Mammy Two Shoes, that's where they got Nanny from Muppet Babies. That's all they showed was her feet. Shouts to Barbara Billingsley. Right? That was Nanny, right? But most people missed Mammy Two Shoes' face. It was really cool. I thought she was hilarious. Big black lady in her house shoes, yelling at Tom. My best is when she told him to get out, OWT out.
And when I says out, Jasper, I means out. OUWT out.
Now, I remember being really young thinking for a split second, like, oh, that's how you spell it? But, you know, what the fuck I know? But, it was funny, though. Nobody thought racism back then. It was no, I mean, I'm sure it was, but nobody cared. I mean, it's a cartoon. It's like, you know. So she threatened to do all kinds of harm to Tom. And most of the time, Tom he didn't even want any trouble. He was just chilling. But, you know, when he wasn't, Mammy Two Shoes told him to catch the mouse. And, you know, if he had to catch the mouse, it was on. Because Jerry, on the other hand, way better than Mickey Mouse, by the way. But Jerry was a for real troublemaker. Because technically, he shouldn't have been in the house anyway. He's a mouse. He doesn't, I mean, at least Mammy, that's gonna make me laugh, Mammy Two Shoes, at least she bought or rescued, and it was her cat. The mouse just showed up. It wasn't like it was his cheese, you know? And if he hated Tom so much, he could have found a new hole in a different house, but, you know, he was a troublemaker, but you needed that. See, the thing was, they were frenemies before that was a word, and I'm almost offended that I even used that word. But, the setups, though, and the violence and the plots were hilarity. Like, Tom broke a dish, and old Two Shoes, because I can't say the other word, I'm gonna laugh. Two Shoes said if he broke another thing or heard a peep, she'd skin him alive or something. And then Jerry ran around the kitchen and threw every dish, cup, glass, mug all over the place. And then Tom caught it all or something. No, the first time he laid pillows down, I don't know, he found a room worth of pillows, but he found pillows and put them on the floor. And then so Jerry's throwing stuff and he doesn't hear anything. And he looked down at his pillows. And then the other time, because Jerry got rid of the pillow, I don't know where the pillows went, but he was throwing all the stuff, and Tom caught them all. It was balancing them, and they were stacked extra high. And Jerry climbed on top and threw a plate on the other side of the room, and they crashed, and Two Shoes beat his ass. Or the one where the little girl treated Tom like a baby. He had the booties and the diapers, and she was powdering him, and it gave him a bottle of milk, and then Jerry saw it, was basically laughing at dude, and then Tom did something that hit Jerry or something.
That naughty little baby running away from your mama like that. Now you come right out of there, or I will get my hairbrush and I will spank you right on your little daddy. Lantics, like I always say, it ain't the work, it's the worry. Now you get right back in your little bed. And now it's time for your dinner, and here it is. And now I am going downtown and buy me a new girdle, and you stay right in your little bed, or I will spank you again, and goodbye.
So he's like, all right. And he called his boys over. This is the equivalent of if you out at the bar with just some hideous looking person, male or female, you know, live your life. And your friend, maybe not even your friend, maybe your friend, sees you and was like, approach you, and you try to diss him, like, get out of here. I want, I'm with Beowulf face. I don't want you. And you just go and call all of your friends to come to that bar. That's what Jerry did. Jerry called his boys, because it's Butch, is Topsy, Lightning, and Meathead. Those are his boys. And don't judge me for knowing their names. But anyway, he called them over, and basically they beat him up and teased him until the girl came back home. And they gave him castor oil. Like, it's the other thing. Back in the day, way back in the day, because these joints came out like the 40s and fuck ever, punishment was castor oil. They pour it in a spoon and, put in your mouth, and you just want to throw up. And I remember my mother, it was this stuff called castor oil. Something like, it wasn't castor oil, it was Castoria. It was Castoria. And I think it was a laxative. I don't know what it was, but if I got in trouble, it didn't dawn on me though, that I just know she'd get a big spoon and she was terrible, and she'd give it to him. So I identified when I saw, and it was abuse. Anyway, but she gave him castor oil, and he threw up. It turned green. Butch was a good rival. And then the black cat that he fought with women over, I think that was Butch. The one where Tom got drunk off cider. He was in the basement, tripped and fell into a big barrel of cider. Why was there a barrel of cider in the basement? And why was it drunken, angry ale? I don't know what the fuck. But that happened. And he got drunk and basically thought he was running the house, and the old Two Shoes beat his ass. Or they got drunk at partying, him and the boys, Topsy and Meathead. They got drunk, partying and singing, and they woke Jerry up. And when he woke Jerry up, he went and got Mammy. And she kicked all their asses and threw them out the house. One where Tom was gonna get $1 million. Think about that though. In the 50s, $1 million, you could probably buy New Hampshire for $1 million in the 50s. But he was gonna get $1 million as long as he never harmed another living thing, and it said even a mouse. And Jerry read it, looked over his shoulder or something, read it, just fucked with him the whole day. And every time Tom got ready to give him the business, he'd point to the paper like, you want that money? And eventually he gave up. He was like, screw the $1 million, and started trying to beat Jerry's ass. But yeah, anything with Spike used to crush Tom, And when Jerry saved Spike from the pound, it was the pound or the dog catcher. There used to be a thing called the dog catcher that would just drive around in a truck and just scoop up dogs. Can you even imagine that happening? I mean, I'm sure the dogs get rescued somehow, but it seemed so prominent in cartoons back then. It was just the dog catcher, and that's what George Clinton said in the Atomic Dog. But he would he saved them, and Spike told him. Spike was the big gray bulldog, and Spike told him anytime Jerry needed him, just whistle.
Anytime he ever needs me, just whistle like this. Get it?
So Tom would chase Jerry, and Jerry would whistle, and Spike would appear from nowhere and just beat the shit out of Tom. Just punch his face, chop his neck, until Tom put some noise canceling headphones on Spike when he was asleep. He put some beats by Tom on his ears, and then Jerry would whistle, and he didn't hear him, and then chaos ensued. The one time Spike gave him a bell to ring, and said just ring the bell. It was the same formula, but he got caught by the dog catcher, or it was a leash law. They had a leash law or something on there. Anyway, then they had the one where they all signed a peace treaty. It was Spike, Tom, and JD. You gotta understand, you like however young, you don't know what technically you don't know what a peace treaty is, but you're watching the cartoon and you find out, you understand what I learned so much. Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes is ridiculous, but they signed a peace treaty so they stopped fighting. And it was just like, can we stop hitting each other in the face with water pipes? So they signed a peace treaty, and it was dope because all three signed it, and so Tom would be doing something, and then another dog in the neighborhood would be like, I'm about to eat Tom, and Spike would come out of nowhere and just beat up the other dog, and the dog looking at Spike like, but or a cat would try to get Jerry. It'll be Butch. Butch, the black cat, would be like, he was chilling. I remember this. He was chilling in like the garbage can, about to eat some like fish bones or some garbage, and Jerry walked by, and Butch was like, "Oh, bet," and went and grabbed Jerry. Was about to eat him, and Tom came and just like shattered his teeth or some shit. And Butch was looking at him like, and he was dusting off Jerry and just let him go on his way. That shit was funny. But a steak squashed the peace treaty. They all had a giant ass steak, and they were trying to figure out how to portion it, in a third, so all three could have some. And they kept drawing with like chalk the portions they were gonna get, and Spike was like, I should get the biggest because I'm the biggest, and they eventually tried to give Jerry like the bone. It was a ribeye. They tried to give him the ribeye bone, and they couldn't come to a conclusion, and the steak went flying out the window and into the gutter and down the gutter drain. And then they got pissed, ripped up the treaty, and started beating each other again. That happened. But a lot of these are gonna be on the site. You put my top Tom and Jerry shows. That's what happened. I was getting ready to do the post, and I was saying, Tom and Jerry was hilarious. I'm gonna just hit record and do a quick podcast about Tom and Jerry. So those are gonna be my favorite joints, probably like 10, 15, I don't know. But I'm gonna put those on the post. Two of my best though, Solid Serenade, where we got smooth ass Tom hitting Toodles with Is You Is or Is You Ain't, while he was tormenting Jerry.
Anytime we have a date, but I love her, I'm gonna ask her, is you wills or is you ain't, my baby? The way you acting lately makes me down. my baby, baby. Seems my flame in your heart's done gone out. A woman is a creature that's always been strange. Just when you sure of one, you find she's gone and made a change. Is you is, or is you ain't my baby. Maybe baby's found somebody new. My baby is still my baby true.
Crazy, because you never heard him really talk anyway. He only really talked when he was singing or macking on some checks. So he had Toodles with Toodles the cat with Is You Is or Is You Ain't. But anytime when Tom gets smooth and Max on the Honeys, it's great tunage. It's a great cartoon. He had Toodles galore. That was the white cat. That was the white Sadiddy cat. And he had Toots. Toots was my favorite. Technically, it was two different Toots, but Toots was my girl because she was in Zoot Cat. Zoot Cat is when he got the Zoot suit. When Toots called him corny, the beginning of the cartoon, he's trying to get up on the Toots, and he has Jerry as like first he goes up there and he rings the doorbell and he starts to dance and tap, and he has a Jerry like he's a ring or some shit, and she calls him corny.
Boy, are you corny.
Boy, are you corn? She called him a corn husker.
You act like a square at the fair, a goon from Saskatoon. You come on like a broken arm. You're a sad apple, a long hair, a corn husker. In other words, you don't send me. So bail out.
Are you calling? Well, you so corn? Oh, yo. She called him corny, called him a corn husker, and he had Jerry in a ring box like he was presenting to her. And after she did that, Jerry ran and got an ear of corn and put it in the ring box and gave it to Tom. Yeah, I laugh every time. The boy, are you corny?
Boy, are you corny. How many times have you been told that? How many girls have said, "No, Horace, I can only be a sister to you"? Get your boots laced, buddy. Get hep to the jive. Step in and see Smiling Sam, the Zoot Suit Man. Step out with a Zoot Suit, with a drape shape and a reed pleat. Wear an ankle-length jacket with 3-foot shoulders. Pants that begin at the chin, zoom to a 54-inch knee, then fade softly to a 3-inch victory cuff. Get hep, get one, get lost in a new Zoot Suit.
A corn husker. Anyway, Tom cuts up the hammock and uses the lampshade for the hat, and goes back, and now she jogging. She caught the vapors. He hits her with the willow root, willow root, willow right.
Jackson!
What's jumping, chick?
You're really a sharp character. A mellow little fella. Now you call him a jive. You're on the right side, you alligator, you. Slip me some skin, my friend.
Well, all right, well, all root, well, all right.
Let's take a little righteous jive. Do you hear me?
Slides up on the piano. She had a
I love you. When I'm with you, I'm what you call a hip cat. I'm hip to the jive. I'm in the groove, darling.
Now you're really sending me, Jackson.
Now you set my soul on fire. It is not just a little spark into the flame. A big roaring flame. I can feel it now. It is burning. 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 Say, something is burning around here.
Anyway, hilarious. Damn, that's probably gonna be my number one. Probably gonna be on the site as my number one favorite. It's perfectly done. And I had the ones with Spike and his son Tyke. Man, those was never really good. He had like the hiccups and couldn't make noise or whatever. Nah, get out of here. Then the Tom and Jerry cartoons though, it was so violent, and the sounds is what made them funny. When someone got slapped or hit with an iron or an anvil or punched, the sounds was just so funny. And then I said on an earlier podcast, one of the Tom and Jerry things actually happened to me in real life, and I'll never forget it. I was outside, had to be like 6, 7 years old. I was outside playing. Me and my friends with 2 guys lived next door. We was outside playing, probably like Super Friends or some shit. I don't know. And my mother called for me to come in the house. It was probably time to eat, or maybe somebody was on the phone. I don't know. But anyway, I was like, yo, gotta go. And I was running. Home. And in the backyard, it was a rake. And I didn't really see it. So I'm running. I stepped on the rake, just like on the cartoon. I stepped on the rake. It was rake side up. And the stick, the handle, flew up and hit me in the face. Just I saw stars. They weren't big stars, but I saw stars. And the funniest part is, I was hurt, but I immediately thought of Tom and Jerry. Just started laughing. I just went, and my mother was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you. I was crying. I was crying not because it was pain. It was just because it was so funny that actually happened in real. You will watch that, like, you watch the cartoons, you like, that never happens in real life. It's funny, but it never happens in real life, and it actually happened. Yeah, I'll never forget that. But that was the thing. Also, times the racism, which was acceptable in the 30s and 40s, damn near. Not so much in the 90s, which is crazy. We progress and we regress, and it doesn't make any sense. But they censored and edited the hell out of the shows. Like most of the Mammy 2 Shoes, that's gonna make me laugh. Most of the Mammy 2 Shoes episodes are gone. They got rid of them. Or they redrew her with a skinny white woman and dubbed over her voice. That's sism. That's, to me, that's racism. And the ones they didn't, and they actually kept Mammy, that's good. Mammy 2 Shoes, they overdubbed her voice with Thea Vidal to make her less stereotypical. No OWT out no more. It was just, that's corny. I mean, it was funny. As a kid, you're looking like, you're not thinking, oh, they're making fun of black people, because I guess in my neighborhood, they didn't make fun of black people. It would have been a problem. But we know it wasn't a thing. The racism, all that stuff, only when you hide it or try to change it, it brings attention to it. That's when it's a problem. When it's just something, you're a kid. You don't know what that's supposed to be. You just know when a firecracker blows up in a cartoon character's face, their whole face goes black except for their mouth. Then they had cannibalism, which they got rid of. Jerry was pretending to be a cannibal to scare Tom, and then they ran into the real cannibals where they were getting ready to eat Tom, and so Tom, they took Tom and put him in a big pot and started chopping up shit, and they were gonna eat him. And the cannibal, which was some stereotypical dude, was like barbecue cat.
Barbecued cats.
About to eat them. Jerry didn't care. It was like, peace. Sorry, you're about to die. This was back when Jerry didn't even care if Tom was gonna die. But he ran into a cannibal mouse. and then they caught him, and the cannibal mouse was like barbecue mouse.
Barbecued mouse.
And then they had, when Nibbles, the gray mouse, the little French mouse, when they were the Mouseketeers, or the Musketeers, whatever the fuck they call that. And Tom had to catch him, and he didn't. And then they beheaded Tom, and they were just like, the Nibbles was like, c'est la vie.
Pauvre pussycat, c'est la guerre.
We're off, going and tearing and fighting and tearing. Go to the front are we.
It was fucked up. Nibbles was okay. Then they had that one season where it was all futuristic and herky-jerky and the music was weird. I don't know who took over then, but that was terrible. I hated that. I never cared for the Tom and Jerry Kids joints either. Like, none of the kids' cartoons ever worked for me. You had the Scooby-Doo Kids and the Tom and Jerry Kids with Droopy and Dripple, and it was a funny name. But none of them, except for Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies were the only one that was good. Anyway, yeah, Yankee Doodle, that yellow duck, it was corny. Didn't like him. Didn't like the voice. Also, Tom and Jerry was gonna be in Roger Rabbit, but Ted Turner's a douche, so that didn't happen. I don't know. I just wanted to do a quick podcast of my Tom and Jerry memories. Look, if you have some, put them in the comments or tweet me at #podcastADP or #ADP, #Tom and Jerry. I don't know. So Cornhusker. And then until the next show, appreciation.
Oh, the key. That's kind of pretty before it gets started, ain't it? Oh, Froggy when he courtin', he did ride Crambo. Froggy when he courtin', he did ride Crambo. Froggy when he courtin', he did ride a sword and a revolver by his side. Crambo killed flop-a-doodle yellow bug, toodle-oddity. That's the hard part right in there, and then that's you. Crambo killed flop-a-doodle yellow bug, toodle-oddity. Come her up, stop, bottom it, Crambo. And the yodel goes right in there somewhere, but it's a little too high for me. Oh, where will the wedding supper be? Crambo. Where will the wedding supper be? Crambo. Where will the wedding supper be? Way down yonder in the cottonwood, in the eucalyptus tree. Crambo. Crambo killed flop-a-doodle yellow bug. That's that hard part again, right in there. Crambo, flop-a-doodle yellow bug, toodle-oddity, come her up top, bottom it, Crambo.
Why, you